This is the Padua Podcast Network.
You know, during the quarantine, if you're like me, you might have put on a few pounds, so. All right, Running a Fever, episode 205, Distracted by Passion. It's a fine day here in May. It's about 51 degrees. I'm at Lake Atalanta in Rogers, Arkansas. And welcome back. It's good to be back. It's glad we took the break, but it's good to be back. And you know, the break was, wow. It's kind of an interesting spring we've had, definitely, and a lot of health-related information. That's why I've had a couple of podcasts that came out through the break. But now we're on a regular, back in the groove of things. And it's good to be back out here and talking to you about longevity and health and fitness and everything that's going on in my fitness journey. It is a fine day. It's about 51 degrees still. It's the second week of May. So it's kind of chilly, but like it's going to be just fine once I get warmed up, getting some sun in and out here. It's not a ton of sun. It's maybe one stretch that's got a lot of sun. But wow, just been inside so much with the quarantine and everything that it's really good just to breathe some fresh air. Distracted by passion. I've not been working out as much as I usually. I mean, you know, this, like I said, this is, and I can blame the quarantine now, but it started as a problem with my foot. It was kind of difficult to wear most of the shoes I have, and for a while, I was wearing only my walking shoes everywhere. And when I walked, I still had pain. So I stopped walking and playing racquetball. And for some reason, I stopped lifting weights as well. Even though I probably could have lifted in my walking shoes without too much trouble. You know, this is fine. I've had injury setbacks before, and you know, I've always come back. So there's something a little bit different this time, though. And you know, it's there's other complications now. Since I started putting this episode together. And if, you know, during the quarantine, if you're like me, you might have put on a few pounds. So it's time to make a change. But I have been doing a lot of reading and writing lately. And that's good. It's what I want to do. It's what I like to do. I feel like I'm at home and doing what I should be doing. But it's like anything else, you know, too much of a good thing is bad. Too much even of a good thing is bad. And in this case, it's bad because I've been distracted from everything else. I set a goal to read 75 books this year. I'm already almost halfway to that goal, and it's the beginning of May. So I could easily, I think, read 100 books this year. And, you know, some authors read 300 books a year. And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that. You have to read a lot if you're a writer. To be a good writer, I think. But But that's not my full-time job. I work a couple thousand hours every year doing something not related to writing or podcasting or any of my other creative activities. So, because of my passion for reading and writing, I've ignored or at least put off many other things that I've learned that make life better. Sun just hit me. Feels good. When I get up in the morning or get home from work, or whenever I have time, I want to push ahead with my passion. I want to write or read or promote my writing or read about writing. And I choose to do these things rather than things that make my life in general better. For example, I got up this morning, started writing this, and it has been a while since I wrote this, so just keep that in mind. But so right, this is the Saturday morning, and I don't have to work, though I do have to travel for work tomorrow. Howdy. Morning's usually when I work out. First thing, though my gym doesn't open for a couple of hours, I've basically decided not to go. I'm writing. And I've been charging through a popular author's catalog, reading everything, and I want to keep charging, finishing one book today and starting the next. What goes through my head at these times is logical. Though, like most decisions we make, it's emotion reinforced by logic that I base my decision on. There's a very popular book called Good to Great, and one of its co-authors wrote a book called Great at Work. In this book, he describes how very successful that is, high-performing people are very good at focusing on a task. This involves something we're not used to at work, which is ignoring distractions. Howdy. Ignoring distractions, such as emails about routine things, people asking questions, other little projects that really need doing. They focus on one thing at a time. They do that one thing really well. Multitasking is a myth. Can't remember who told me this first. I think it might have been a co-worker named Matt DeBusk. But it hit home. It hit home because I discovered it through experience. The human brain is not capable of multitasking. Unlike computers, we take so much time reestablishing our frame of reference that it becomes more efficient, not less, to focus on one task. This is the concept that's touted in Great at Work, and it's part of the logic my brain is using to keep me from loving my life. I always feel like I have to get something done. Sooner I finish this blog post, or my latest short story, or promotional video, or podcast episode, the better. This feeling is amplified with regard to my passion because, unlike my day job, I'm not guaranteed a bunch of time, paid time, to work on it. I have to scrape time up whenever I can find it. So time is more precious. When I fail to realize at these times is the concept I discovered in 2016 when I made my first and only actually life plan based on that process outlined in the book Living Forward. When I prioritize my life, I put physical fitness as my number one priority because everything else depends on it. So by ignoring things that make me healthier, I'm hurting everything, not just my health. In the past, I've also had workaholic tendencies. But people are always saying don't work too hard, referring to a day job. A passion is a different story, somewhat. You know, I always try to turn things around when I talk about how things aren't going the way they should. At heart, I'm an optimist, I think. Like to think so anyway. It may not always seem so, though. I think we're all optimists. We're all optimists, or, we couldn't keep getting out of bed and facing the world every day. So I found myself examining how this happened and what I need to change to make things better. After all, by now I know what I need to do. I'm just not doing it. I've studied a number of methods, and today I'm going to share some of them with you. Get help. You know, I found that my mind is a terrible thing. It's beautiful. It's powerful. It's terrible. I am so likely to get myself in trouble when I only do what I want to do and do not involve anyone else. And trouble's a relative term. I'll give you an embarrassing example, because those are the best kind. A couple of months ago, I decided I was going to get a master's degree in the field that my day job is in. I had the best of intentions. It would certainly make me better at my job. I'd been trying to learn this particular skill on my own for a long time. Many years, actually. And it's always baffled me, and getting this degree would kind of force me to learn that skill. But as they say, the juice would not be worth the squeeze. This degree was going to cost me $60,000, and my company would pay part of that, small part of it, 15%, I think. And I wasn't going to get paid anymore when I was done, just because I had the degree. Although I think it might improve my job security a bit, marketability perhaps. But I definitely wasn't going to get that money back in terms of an increase in salary. And it doesn't appear that my job is in jeopardy, but you never know. More importantly, it was going to take a couple thousand hours of my time. Howdy. And I found I can do a lot of things, pretty substantial things if I, commit enough time and energy. And that's what this was going to take. I knew I could do it. I just, it was going to absorb my life is going to be like basically like having 2 full-time jobs for a year, or probably spread it out over 2 years. And that is far more valuable. I mean, time is priceless. So, it just didn't really make sense. But I didn't tell anybody else about this. I just went on about it on my own. I told the people that I needed to write recommendations. Got accepted, paid the initial fees, and bought some nice, I think I bought a sweatshirt from the school. And then Addie. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, I realized that it just didn't make sense. I'm out a few $100s, and more importantly, I wasted the time of the 3 people who I asked to write recommendations. If I discussed this with friends and family, I would have known quickly that I was headed for a mistake. And in this case, the consequences are not dire. But, I hope it illustrates my point that acting on my own without the support and guidance of my friends and family is not the best idea, especially with life-impacting decisions like this one. Left to my own devices, meaning my terrible brain, I can do things I would not think of doing if others knew about it. Morning. Human brain is an amazing organ. Through the magic of the brain, I can actually fool myself. And the smarter I am, the worse life gets. I lose perspective. Things don't go very well. But when I depend on other people I trust for more objective advice, I make better decisions. Get in the routine of doing the right thing. Well, this doesn't help me in the moment, but if I haven't developed these habits over time, it's not going to help. But I can tell you that habits have helped me in the situation I'm currently facing. I eat similar things every day, so my diet hasn't suffered like my exercise program has. I didn't have to stop my diet because of an injury, so I can keep rolling. Habit kept me exercising, but it doesn't take long to get in a new habit of just doing what I want with regard to that distracting passion. So I have to reestablish my habit and reawaken my passion for good health and sharing that information. Windy here. So I have to reestablish my habit, and this involves the hardest of my most difficult of all these suggestions, which is just do it. Sure, sounds easy. But remembering this, not just a slogan, can help me realize that I'm hemming and hawing and bitching and complaining. And why? I can do the right thing. I know what the right thing is. A habit starts with doing the thing once. Can't just suddenly be in the habit of regular weightlifting if I never get in my car and go to the gym. One morning I just have to do it. First time's always the hardest. I also need to remember that I don't have to suddenly be doing all the right things. I only have to do the next right thing. It's only one thing. It's not my whole life I need to change. It's just this one thing in this one moment. Passion is what we live for. And to do that passion well, we need to live well. To live well, We need to take care of our health. I need to take care of my health because all else depends on it. And that's why for me, it's priority one. So follow your passion and keep it going by loving your life, loving your health, so you can live a long, healthy, happy, active life right up to the very end. Well, it's good to be back, and I'll see you next week. Till then, if you don't have the fever, catch it, and if you got the fever, keep it, and talk to you next time. Running fever.